Yeah, good evening, sports fans. Today's what the fuck's today? Wednesday, March 2nd. Uh, it's 10 o'clock here in El Paso, Texas. I just looked up. Putin is 69. I'm 72 and a half. Biden's 79. Trump is like 75, 76. My sister's 91, so fuck everybody. Both my parents were 100. And, just trying to put things in. I'm bouncing around on the YouTube, looking at the comments and what's going on with the Ukraine and Putin. It kind of ties into what uh, my problems and what I'm going through. I think his you know his he's like a psychopath, uh, empowered, emboldened, and you can't hardly stop him. The UN, I think it was the delegate from Ukraine, an older guy, white haired, and he said, Putin, why don't you do like Hitler? Kill yourself. this go it's taking me back to like 5 or 6 years old, man, with Russia, the start of the Cold War before Vietnam. It was the Cold War. And my dad used to make his comments usually at the dinner table because he went to work every day and then come in, eat dinner. Would have to sit down at dinner time about 6 p.m. And that was like a religion. And he would ask me what I'm doing in school, or I'd ask him some questions, about a half hour or so. And then he'd go downstairs to the basement, pay the bills and all that shit. Him and my mom were virtually separated. I'm trying to figure out. I guess he taught me survival and how to be a prick. I'm not good at relationships, all that. I became an alcoholic. I was just, to those of you that are alkies or addicts, or, none of us are all there. I had the toilet was leaking, driving me nuts. The guy from the water department told me about 17 years ago, me and my son moved into my dad's old house, and the same thing. And he come over and I said, how come my bill? I didn't know. I'm learning all this shit. I've been telling you, watch my other videos, telling people I'm learning shit in my old age. Fuck it. Blue collar. I think it's interesting as hell, really. I'm so programmed to go. I'm an American. I got to go. And that's, I'm trying to get away from that shit and just be a little wiser, or according to my dad, more worldly. People take it easy, I guess, like the Europeans or, native tribes in South America, whatever I don't know if they live longer, but they say the men only live to be 66 in Russia, and the women get to be 76. I don't know. The vodka may have something to do with it. They're cold. I don't know, man. I watched the State of the Union last night with Joe Biden, and I'm not going to say they're intelligent people because we all know better. I got 129 IQ. I'm a little short on common sense, but I'm watching. They're actors. I watch some actors sometimes, like whoever you want. The guy playing James Bond or a killer or something like that. I remember Tom Hanks played that Rain Man, played like a mentally ill patient or whatever. The guy was convincing as hell. I mean, you're looking at him critically. There's so many people I can think of. Uh, the point is that they learn. I lived in the streets of New York in the '70s, and what you call con artists, what they call them now, scammers or whatever word you choose to describe this type of person. And I tried it. The guys I was hanging out with, drinking and all that, it was all hustling. We used to call it hustling and try to bullshit somebody to get something that you want. And I fucked up a bunch of times. And I guess I started to realize, like in the Bible, it tells you, right from wrong. There was abandoned cars in New York. I had an old car. I got a generator. The car looked like it's been sitting there forever. I went to get the alternator off it, and here comes a Puerto Rican guy comes out. Hey, motherfucker. I thought he was lucky he didn't take a baseball bat to my head, but I did that a couple of times. And the last time, once I sobered up, you look at things different. I had a flat tire and whatnot, but I'm looking at Biden and Trump too. I love Trump as a person, but I was watching fucking Nancy Pelosi sitting back. She thinks she owns the world. She needs to go back to California or something, or come back down to Earth. She's old. She needs to give it a break. Can you imagine? I'm trying to picture her husband. How do you look at them eyebrows every night? She used to be good looking 30 years ago. The same way with Hillary and Bill Clinton. How the fuck you put up with, like, a man, put up with that kind of shit? My mother always used to keep herself dressed nice and thin, not big, fat, presentable, they used to call it. But now, anyhow, they're all like actors in the Good Old Boy Network or something. And I think what drives that is they found a way. I know a lot of the truck drivers are the same way. You get in a group, 2, 3, 4, 5. If they're all white and they own their own trucks and they got top of the line, they got $1 million or more invested. They're not friendly at all whatsoever. I mean, I'm looking at this convoy and they're honking their horns nonstop. I don't get that, I think because we're all isolated, I guess that's the only way you can express yourself. Because you can't, you're too fucking fat and lazy to get out of your fucking truck, number one. Stop the motherfucker. It's going to take time. You're going to lose money. It's going to cost you money, Get out and talk to somebody like a human being. Honking the horn, that's like using all capital letters on the internet. Hey, man, it's like you're showing your anger or something. But that comes from frustration. Anyhow, that leaking toilet was driving me nuts. I went yesterday. I got an old as hell toilet. And I went a couple of years ago. I've been staying at the house about 6 weeks, resting, sleeping and eating, fuck it, trying to stay healthy. And I was thinking, man, you out there. I hit 2 snowstorms, and you're not eating right. You're not. I make sure I drink water, but I do about 10 or 12 cigarettes, maybe 14 cigarettes a day. Just not helping, but it's insane out there. So it calms me down a little bit, whatever, temporarily. Anyhow, I went to. I've been putting it off. Oh, now you're procrastinating. So I finally went over to Ace Hardware. I took it's an involved project. It's not one, two, three. It's not like being on the computer. If you don't like it, you click your mouse or something. You go to something else. It's not. You have to stay with it the whole process. And if I got to shut the water off the main line. Uh, this is part of home ownership. That's my responsibility, or it's going to cost me. Call a plumber. I can imagine there's a $350 bill. Uh, the flapper I got, I'll show you a picture. It's a little round, but wore out completely. I'm thinking it's 30, 40 years old. It's hard rubber, but it's starting to crack and little pieces come apart. Anyhow, the top of it is rubber also, and there's a little brass screw that fits onto the plastic hinge when it lifts up, and then I never noticed that there's a hole in the middle of the flapper that when it's coming down it fills with air and it keeps it above the water. I just noticed. Oh shit, plain and simple, gravity. Anyhow, I go to the Ace Hardware, and there's a new guy there. It's only about 6 years old, 5 years old in the neighborhood. Uh, the guy's good. It's a guy's about 40. The white dude. He's working. He's been there about a year or so, and he goes right to the point. I'm Mexican. I'm from El Paso. I like to bullshit with somebody, but he don't. He ain't got no rep, you know. But we went over to I said, I need a flat. I took it with me. And the thing is, the new style has that chain on the lever when you press the handle to flush the toilet, little stuff. But excuse me. We're over there, and he don't really know what he's doing. They got everything, all kinds of shit, and 8 or 10 different flappers. And he points right to one that's similar, so we compared the sizes. And then on the where it pivots from, it's got to be the correct configuration. Anyhow, I said, nah, that's not it. And then he's in a rush. And then is another new guy. He's standing right there in my creep spot. It's like with a little feather duster. It's like, I said, how you doing, man? You bothering me. What the fuck? The guy's taking care of me. We don't need you. But he walks on past, and he's got to dust some of the shit. Man, get the fuck out of the way. I'm talking to the guy. I'm trying to get this thing. Kind of rushing you. I can't stand that shit. So, anyhow, we just both, thank God, in a matter of another 5 or 10 seconds, and looking over the rest of. Now, I had looked at the internet the night before for toilets. The $80 for a new one at Home Depot, but it's $79 if you want it tomorrow. And I said, I don't want to pay that kind of fucking money. And I like to take my time and fix it and spend $5 or $10, fix it, you know. But anyhow, we found the right one. It happened to be there, Corky. That was the name of it, Corky brand. I had looked up on the internet some of the different American Standard, and there's about 5 or 6 other brands I never heard of. So uh, I'm looking at all the different parts and how much they cost. And so anyhow, I had gotten a couple of days before I went to the store, and I got the, what do you call it, that tower, that round thing that when the water level comes up, it pushes the thing up and until it hits the top, and then it shuts the water supply. The water supply valve shuts it off, and so anyhow, then you got to adjust it. There's 2 adjustments on it. You know, it's no end to the shit. But now that's got to come up, and on the top where it's the overflow, little rubber tube, and it goes into another at the back of the tank. But the shutoff valve has to be a little higher than the little where it sends the water to. And I was playing with it. I didn't get nowhere. It keeps leaking into the bowl. But finally, I got that, adjusted it, played with it a little bit, up, down, adjusted, and then go shut the water off again, turn it on, fill up the tank. And then I got a duplex. So on the other side, it was stamped on the back of the tank. It said made in 1995. That's an old one too. But the flap was old, the rubber, plastic. There's a chemical name to it. It's made with, you know, to last longer, 10, it is 20 years old or more. Anyhow, I took that out also, and I got they had the same one right there. So got that taken care of. And that makes me feel happy because when I first got here, like I said, about 17 years, the water company came to check to see if I had a leak in the line. I'm getting $75 a month. I'm driving a truck 3 months, 3 months. I come back, I got a $75 water bill. I stay at the house 2, 3, 4, 5 days a week, maybe. So how the hell I must have a leak somewhere. There's old fixtures, old pipes, all the way from the alley to the house, to the basement and up. So the guy comes over, the water department, the guy comes over and he looks at the tank. He says, here's your problem right here. It's leaking out. I hadn't even known. I got my son, he's disabled. I'm in a hurry. I ain't got time to spit. And so I had fixed it. It's been about 17 years. And then I replaced the shit on there again about 6 years ago. So just to give you an idea, maybe it was 8 years ago, how long stuff lasts. And it was $8 for that little tower, that valve, water supply valve. It was eight something, 860 or something. And the shut-off valve at the bottom of the toilet, I had it all the way down, all the way off to shut off the water still leaking. I don't want to break anything, God forbid. So anyhow, I took it off. Sometimes there's a little rubber washer gasket in there, and I took it off. It's like steel or something, metal. And I said, well, give it an extra little. I put some WD on it, give it a little extra. And it finally shut the water off. Otherwise, I got to go all the way to the alley. No big deal, but I was going to get a new one, but this one's working. Just now, I know that just give it that little extra tighten, and it'll stop. The ones on the other side of the duplex, that and the sink over there, both the shutoff valves are working. What, $10? It's no big deal. They screw on, screw off. Got a little pipe wrench, a little one, $2, $3, and pliers. You just use your hand, use a little force on there. Anyhow, that went well. Both of them, everything worked out good. And I learned a little bit. So I'm still working on my 68 Cadillac. I took a compression test on the 4 cylinders. The one I fixed, 0 compression, so it's still leaking. And the second one is like 60 pounds, and then 40 pounds, and then 60 pounds on the driver's side. And I did one on the passenger side. It's 150. So I got a leak on there. Now, I don't know. I torqued down some of the bolts, not all of them. And I may need to give it that little extra, tighten it just a little more all the way around to make a seal, because I got air leaking. And I'm looking, there's a ton of stuff on YouTube. I'm going to put this light on me to see if I look better. Nah, that doesn't help. Still ugly. Anyhow, I'm trying to educate myself, learn. I got the where the valves come up and down, open and closed on the valve seat. The timing chain was old. It jumped. It was backfiring. And from the information I get, it caused that valve to bend a little bit. Getting like my mother, my fingers are crooked, but so that's about what it looked like. Anyhow, I got a new valve. I put it on. I said, let me put this back on and see if that did the trick. And I noticed that the valve seat looked like it got dinged just a hair, like 1/1000th of an inch, maybe 2/1000ths of an inch. So I got a little rotary grinder and just kind of rubbed over there, some sandpaper, just rubbed over there. And I guess those valve seats are put in there by special equipment, expensive shit. So I thought, well, I'll put another one in there, but it takes a special machinery to press it on or something. So I think so. I seen some more videos where it said, I guess you can, you want to get that lapping tool and some lapping compound to basically, it's like sandpaper, only it's the compound, and then put the valve back on there and, rub it back and forth to wear it down so where it makes an even fit with the valve and the seat. It kind of blends together or whatever, comes together, whatever, like that. So I did that a little bit, and I said, let me see if I can get away with it. No, so I got to do it again. And then the second three, all of the cylinders are low compression. So that means I think I didn't tighten down the bolts 100% because they're all low. So it's not just that number 1 cylinder. So the number 1 cylinder I got to do again. So anyhow, I'm looking at, they got some little tool to come down there with little cutters, like 3 cutters, and with a T-handle, you put a pilot down in there, and then a T-handle, and the cutters cut that's for The seat also has to be cut at like a 45-degree angle, and the valve is at a 45-degree angle. Now they say cut it at a 46-degree angle, blah, blah, blah. So I'm trying to understand that 100%. But they say it's less than $200 for this. There's three angles on there: 60 degrees, 45 degrees, and 30 degrees. So I was gonna maybe do that. The machine shop I know is gonna. I had the truck head on the Freightliner. I called one machine shop over here in El Paso. The guy won $900 something to. He got a lathe to make sure the top of the head is completely smooth. It's not warped or anything. They got to take off 1,000, 2,000, no more than 3,000 to make it perfectly level. The guy, I told the guy, says, hey, I can get a refurbished head for $550 in shipping, probably 100, 150, so around $700 with tax and all that. You get it in about a week or so. So why the hell am I going to pay $900? And a young guy, he says, "Oh shit, I didn't know that." Yeah, because you're overcharged. That's what I like about El Paso. These new legal Mexican immigrants. I guess because they're legal, they get to charge extra. But I don't like that. I'm an old working bastard, and you're overcharging me every step of the way, man. What the fuck? You know, where does it? El Paso used to get back in the 50s and 60s. You get your money's worth. You work hard for your money, and you get, and the people were more honorable. They're Americanized now.